Amora, we're back. Good to see you.
We are back, and I've got some good news for you,
Ooh.
and then I've got other news, which isn't necessarily bad news, but at least it explains the challenges that you're facing.
Oh, good. Okay.
So first of all, the good news. I did the journey on your behalf, and what that told me is you actually have got nothing to worry about outside parties creating obstacles for the journey that you're taking.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's nice.
Yeah, that is nice. But then what I did was I asked you for your date and time of birth so I could have a look at your star chart. And that's been very useful. And it also confirmed other stuff that came up in the journey. So I'm going to go straight to the highlights, and it's your natal chart and the positions of the planets at that time that are having a major impact, more so now than they've ever done before.
Oh, good. Okay.
So the first thing that I need to draw your attention to is that you have Uranus Saturn conjunct in your house of communication. And you've also got Jupiter conjuncting your Venus. Now, these positions pretty much have driven you to what you're embarking on now. They're all very well positioned for the work that you're moving into. So that is good news. What might be considered as less good is that the Uranus in conjunction with Saturn bring or tell the story of you're carrying a lot more than most people would in terms of karma.
Karma.
Mm.
That's interesting.
Um,
Does that mean this is a really karmic life for me? And what does karma have to do with, is that what we're all doing with Holistic Campus, my part in that karmic?
Well, what happens is in between lives when we have the life review, we then need to sit in a council and make decisions about what lessons we learned from past lifetimes and what we would like to engage in learning and developing in the next lifetime. Well, one of the things that we can do is we can make a choice to carry the burden of karma for more than just ourselves.
Oh.
And this is what you've chosen to do in this lifetime. Now, when I did the journey, what came up there was that you've chosen to bring a lot of karma for resolution from 3 generations ago from the Polynesian, Hawaiian area of the world.
Wow.
You've got a very, very strong connection with Aboriginal bloodlines, but on a soul level as opposed to within your DNA.
No, I know that. I've been through a couple of those past lives. Yeah.
So within the journey, what I was also told is that any work at all where you are supportive of or are helping justice for the First Nations people will burn so much karma that you're carrying.
Wow.
And the other thing was, because of this karmic connection to the Polynesian Hawaiian area of the world, any personal development that operates from the level of the Huna or Kahuna teachings is going to be supremely powerful for you.
Wow. Wow. I'm not sure where to start with that.
Right, let's see what else we've got for you.
Amora, can I ask a question about that?
You can, yeah, sure.
So regarding taking on the karma of generations, was it the generations of that past life for me, or was it the people in general? And for what purpose why would I do that? Like what?
Okay, so as we go through a number of lives, it is the soul that's making the journey. And so that before the soul incarnates, it can look at karma in a broader scale. So it can be karma for a country. So like when it comes to looking at the lives of big political players throughout history, they're all involved with national karma.
Right, the big guys, right.
Yeah. So that is one avenue of karma that can be addressed.
Okay.
Is taking on national. Another decision that can be made is that you wanting to work purely on ancestral bloodlines. So therefore, the body that you're entering into, you're going to be working through karma of the bloodline, the DNA that you're carrying. So it can either be from a very broad soul perspective, or it can be related to the ancestors of the family that you're born into.
Okay.
But you're a person in this lifetime where you're working much more with the broader soul syllabus than with the physical DNA which you carry in.
Okay, and should I feel, because I don't, the Polynesian, the Hawaiian part of that, other than having been lucky enough to go to Hawaii once from little old New England, I don't notice that. Is that something I would notice?
Not necessarily, because it's this window of time that we find ourselves in now where things are getting really, really intense. It's only maybe within the last 12 months that this is going to be surfacing.
Oh, just in general, okay.
Yeah, and it is quite painful stuff, which is what you're experiencing in your body. But don't worry, there are things that can be done which will alleviate that and will release it, and it will also relieve the pain.
Oh, good.
So
It's not going.
I know that you were expressing concern about the physical pain that you've been carrying recently. So what I'll do is I'll just give you the information that was going that you might find very helpful.
Oh, good.
So when we store things within our body, it's not just traumas that we've picked up in this lifetime, but if we're bringing in, as I say, karma, that is held physically as well. It's now been triggered by where we are in the heavens big picture.
Right.
Which is why you're beginning to feel this. So one thing that's going to help you in terms of releasing is deep tissue massage.
Okay.
And they just manipulate everything, and then what you'll likely experience is some kind of vision or emotion as it's released, which will then give you a bigger picture of what it is on a karmic level that you're helping to ease.
Okay, not to mention it feels really good.
Just in terms of pain relief, you might also want to have a look at Chinese acupuncture.
Okay, I was wondering.
They just work on the meridians, and they can give you like an MOT. And the other thing that I was told is that you might find, particularly someone in the acupuncture sector that uses moxa sticks, will be very beneficial for you. So moxa, they look, if you don't know what they look like cigars, and they're made from mugwort. They are lit, and the smoke is actually absorbed by your body, and it goes straight into the core of your body. And they're very, very good for raising chi energy levels and for injecting the element of fire into your bones. So if you're finding that you're experiencing pain in your joints, in your bones,
Yep.
then that's going to be very beneficial for you.
Okay. And say it again, Amora.
It's Moxa, M-O-X-A.
Beautiful. All right, I'll look. Thank you.
So what else? So in your natal chart, your moon is squaring Venus, and squares indicate complications. And your Capricorn placements also indicate that on the romantic front, you're going to be in relationship with someone with old-fashioned values.
Yep.
So we're looking at kind of stereotypical patriarchal belief systems. They might like to control, and they really get triggered by the thought of anything that's changing, anything that's outside of their control. And I think pretty much anyone that's had a walking experience realizes that that level of change is very difficult for partners and also for family members to accept.
Yeah.
All that I can say is that when you are in your place of full authenticity, you are going to be at your optimum health. So if you were choosing not to shine as brightly as you would like to shine in order to appease other people, you're actually not loving yourself enough, because you're not going to feel that you're giving 100% to where you know you need to be giving yourself.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Oh. Well, that's a lot to think about. Well,
so that was everything that came up from looking at your star chart and from the journey that I did on your behalf.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so the authenticity part of it. So do you feel that, just from what you learned, that I'm not being completely authentic, or I'm on that, I really feel like I'm on that path? And
I'm not saying that you're not, but I am aware that when there's a lot of family pressure being placed upon you, that there can be a temptation not to go for something 100% just because you know it can cause them a degree of discomfort.
And you know what's happened there is, I mean, I don't feel like I'm holding back at all with this, but it's not something we discuss because they're just, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? When you,
yeah,
they're trying, they want to open up, but it's not there. So I'm holding back on that, certainly, just from a communication standpoint.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you don't need validation from anyone else for the path that you're taking, for how you feel about that. And I guess they don't need to know what you're doing.
Yeah. No, I guess, you know, they hear all of my conversations and whatnot, and they're just kind of like, okay, we're just going to let her do her thing. And I'm not stopping it all, but it's just on a daily conversation. Those don't happen.
Yeah, I can fully understand that.
Yeah, I bet you can.
Yeah, it would be nice if very close family and friends that you've had for years could embrace the direction that you're going in. We're happy for you that you were doing that.
And some of them are, and have come right along on the journey. Some of them are, and I have many, many new friends, which is, we're all with the same mindset. But I think just the one, my children are at different ages, but as far as the walk-in, my husband, the walk-in, I wonder when he does become awake and aware to this, which is supposed to happen pretty soon, if that will shift. And I think if he becomes awake to this, then it's just going to be staring him right in the face. What do you, what do you do with that?
Well, the thing is, if someone is sort of taking the awakening path later rather than sooner, a lot of people that are making that jump just move really quick with it. Just like some of us, we spent absolute years and years and years wading through the stuff and gradually waking up. But there's a lot of people in these times that are waking up and bang, they've got it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's what happened to me with all of this. Just 7 years ago, wham! I mean, there it is.
Yeah.
I've been going ever since. That's interesting, but yeah. Well, thank you, Amora. That's a whole lot to think about. I appreciate you doing that for me.
You're very welcome.
Anything else you want to share?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Take care.
It's been a pleasure doing that for you, Karen.
Yes, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.